Good morning. Welcome to the Bicol University Graduate School Orientation Program for second semester, school year 2021-2022. We start this opening program with an invocation and the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. The Dean of the Bicol University Graduate School, Dr. Herbert Rosana, will now give us the welcome remarks and introduce the graduate school.
Friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. To the university officials, to our esteemed University President Arnulfo M. Mascareñas, to the Vice Presidents of Bicol University, Dr. Amelia A. Dorosan, the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Joseph Bartolata, the Vice President for Administration and Finance, to Dr. Luis Amano, the Vice President for Research, Extension and Development, and to Professor Jerry S. Bigornia, the Vice President for Planning and Development. To our esteemed faculty members, to our dear students, good morning and welcome to this orientation program. As the Dean of the Graduate School, I would like to welcome you in this orientation program, and I hope that this activity will be very helpful for you, especially for our new students and also for those students who have recently enrolled in thesis writing and dissertation writing. I hope that the items presented in this orientation program will help you and guide you navigate the final phase of your career in the graduate school. And I hope that you will succeed in your scholarly pursuits as we pursue the values of excellence, because we want to produce back-breaking researches that will help and spearhead the development of our communities, the development of our region, and the development of the country. And I have the honor also to introduce you to the graduate schools and the officials and the program advisors of the graduate school. So let me now share my screen with you so that I'll be able to show you. I'll introduce you to the graduate school and to its officials. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bicol University Graduate School, academic year 2021-2022, second semester. The BU Graduate School is guided by the vision and mission of the university. Our mission is to become a world-class university producing leaders and change agents for social transformation and development. And we are also guided by the mission of the university, which is to give professional and technical training and provide advanced and specialized instruction in literature, philosophy, the sciences, and arts, besides providing for the promotion of scientific and technological researches. The following are the goals of the BU Graduate School. Number 1, to promote the highest degree of efficiency and effectiveness in the administration and management of the graduate school for excellent discharge of its mandated functions in accordance with the quality assurance framework of AACUP, CHED, ICWAME, and other institutions. Number 2, to develop world-class leaders imbued with the philosophy of servant leadership and the BU ideals of scholarship, leadership, character, and service through high-quality, relevant, and responsive curricular programs which meet national and international standards of quality and excellence by way of conventional and alternative educational program delivery systems. Number 3, to generate useful knowledge and technology geared for regional and national development through a dynamic research culture. To foster national identity and solidarity through the promotion, preservation, and dissemination of our cultural heritage. And number 5, to promote the quality of life of people in the region through the conduct of extension activities that promote the application of existing and new knowledge and technology. Number 6, to ensure organizational sustainability through the pursuit of productive endeavors for resource generation via strong collaboration with alumni, industry, and other stakeholders, and to establish institutional internationalization through strong linkages with foreign institutions. Now, may I introduce you to the university officials. We have the SUC President 4, Arnulfo M. Mascareñas. He is assisted by the Vice Presidents of Bicol University. First, we have Dr. Amelia A. Dorosan, PhD, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Then we have Attorney Joseph L. Bartolata, PhD, the Vice President for Administration and Finance. We have Dr. Luis O. Amano, the Vice President for Research, Development, and Extension. And we have Professor Jerry S. Bigornia, the Vice President for Planning and Development. Now, the Dean of the Graduate School is Dr. Herbert P. Rosana. And the following are the Deans and Directors implementing the graduate programs. We have first Dr. Lorna M. Minya, the Dean of the College of Education. At the same time, she is also the Program Advisor of the PhD in Educational Foundations Program. We have Dr. Ramises M. Lorino, the Dean of the Open University. He is also the Program Advisor of the Master in Public Administration in the Open University. Dr. Eddie S.C., the Dean of the College of Business, Economics, and Management. Dr. Maria Gisela N. Mortega, the Dean of the BU Tabaco Campus. Dr. Jonathan C. Arroco, the Dean of the College of Industrial Technology. We have Dr. Annette Jean Ibo, the OIC Dean of the College of Nursing. We have Dr. Rosefi B. D., the OIC Dean of the College of Agriculture. Dr. Leticia M. Lopez, the Dean of the College of Arts and Letters. And at the same time, she is also the Program Advisor of the PhD in Filipino program. Dr. Jocelyn E. Serrano, the Dean of the College of Science. Attorney Alex B. Nepomuceno, PhD, Dean of the College of Social Sciences and Philosophy. At the same time, he is also the Program Advisor of the MA in Peace and Security Studies and PhD in Peace and Security Administration. Architect Leo A. Del Rosario, the Director of the BU IDEA. He is also at the same time the Program Advisor of the MS in Architecture. Dr. Noemi L. Ibo, the Graduate Program Director of the Jesse M. Robredo Institute. She is also the Program Coordinator and Program Advisor of the PhD in Public Administration. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, may I also introduce you to our Program Advisors. So please take note of the Program Advisors because they are the primary contact person that you will have in the university with regards to your course or degree programs. First, we have Dr. Mary Joy B. Sande, the Program Advisor for the Master of Arts in Nursing. Professor Alan Adonis Malbar, the Program Advisor of the MS Biodiversity and Environmental Management. Professor Ruby O. Rico, the Program Advisor of the Master in Rural Development. Dr. Lorelai B. Zamora, the Program Advisor of the MS in Agriculture Program. Dr. Raymond Regalia, the Program Advisor of the MS in Biology. Professor Ryan Rodriguez, the Program Advisor of the MS in Information Systems. Dr. Maria Teresa M. Abainsa, the Program Advisor of the Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Management Program. Dr. Leonila B. Barbacena, the Program Advisor of the PhD in Mathematics Education. Dr. Maria Eden A. Ante, the Program Advisor of the MA in Biology Education. Professor Mary Grace A. Rodriguez, the Program Advisor of the MA in Chemistry Education. Dr. Shirley N. Maloles, the Program Advisor of the MA in Cultural Education. Dr. Angela E. Lorenzana, the Program Advisor of the MA in English Education. Dr. Reina Habalo, the Program Advisor of the MA in Educational Leadership and Management. Professor Benita B. Hugo, MA in Filipino Education. Professor Maria Elena C. Ahoro, Program Advisor of the MA, Guidance and Counseling. Dr. Jocelyn F. Guyena, Program Advisor of the MA in Mathematics Education. Professor Maria Saliste D. San Pablo, the Program Advisor in MA in Music Education. Dr. Epifania B. Nunez, the Program Advisor of the MA in Physics Education. Professor Miguela R. Riquero, the Program Advisor of the MA in Preschool Education. Professor Miriam P. Maldo, Program Advisor of the MA in Reading Education. Dr. Marcia Corazon Pirico, the Program Advisor of the MA in Social Studies Education. Dr. Emily M. Agonos, Program Advisor, Master in Management, Open University. Dr. Roldan C. Cabiles, MA in English Education, Open University. Dr. Melinda D. De Guzman, Program Advisor of the Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Management and the Master of Arts in Educational Leadership and Management of the Open University. Dr. Ramon T. De Leon, the Master in Local Government Management of the Open University. Professor Jose Carlo B. Labapie, the Program Advisor of the MA in Social Studies Education of the Open University. Professor Sheila B. Desuyo, CBEM Graduate Program Coordinator. Professor Edgar S. Parameda, the Program Advisor for the Master in Entrepreneurship and Master in Cooperative Management. Professor Cristina Ballesteros, Program Advisor of the Master in Management and Master in Management Major in Human Resource Management. Dr. Clea L. Bongat, the Program Advisor of the Master in Economics. Professor Karina L. Sales, Director of the Institute of Physical Education and Recreation, and at the same time, she is also the Program Advisor of the MA in Physical Education. Professor Christian C. Calleja, the Program Advisor of the MA in Industrial Education. Dr. Rosemary T. Frias, the Program Advisor of the Master of Public Administration. Dr. Viola L. Amano, the Program Advisor of PhD in Development Management. Attorney Alex B. Nepomuceno, Program Advisor and Master of Public Administration, Major in Public Procurement. Professor Rodel A. Nino Franco, the Program Advisor of the Master of Public Administration in Health Emergency and Disaster Management. Dr. Melanie L. Gulusinda, the Program Advisor in Master in Filipino. Dr. May Antoinette Imran, the Program Advisor of the MA in Literature Program. And we have Dr. Alex P. Camaya, the Program Coordinator of the MS in Fisheries Technology. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have introduced you to the officials, the program advisors of the graduate school. So once again, I would like to welcome you all in this orientation program and welcome to Bicol University Graduate School.
Thank you very much, Dr. Herbert Rosana, for your welcome remarks and for introducing the Graduate School of Bicol University. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, students, faculty, and staff, please welcome the Vice President for Research, Development, and Extension, Dr. Luis O. Amano, for his message.
Our beloved University President, Dr. Arnulfo M. Mascareñas, Dr. Amelia A. Dorosan, Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Herbert B. Rosana, Dean, BU Graduate School, faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Graduate school is not just like a school. It's about work. It is a journey where many of us start our career. Your journey will reveal opportunities and challenges. You will have fun. You have to toil for long hours. Remember, keep your eyes on your goal. To the good times and the hard times, the goal is to obtain your master's or doctoral degree. Let me give you some tips or the importance of doing graduate studies. First, it is an investment in your future. Graduate school often acts as the academic version of professional training, enabling students to graduate with all the right knowledge in all the right places, ready to jump straight into their desired careers. After finishing your graduate degree, you will experience that you will be promoted, and promotion means increase in salary. Number 2, get noticed in today's job market. In this competitive world, more people than ever are attending graduate studies. Undergraduate degree alone can sometimes fail to get you noticed alongside with equally or more highly qualified candidates. Bachelor degrees holders are struggling to appeal to employers even at the entry level in certain industries, especially when up against candidates with advanced degree. Number 3, get more than a qualification. Graduate school is not just obtaining few letters before or after your name. It's about developing yourself professionally so that you will be ready to enter in the world of work. If you act smart in graduate school, by the time you graduate, you have built yourself a professional landing map, contacts, and relationships, which will serve to keep you in the field and ultimately get employed. Number 4, pursue your interest in more depth. In order to get most of your graduate degree, you will be expected to conduct personal researches alongside with set of topics in order to develop your thoughts and ideas regarding something that deeply interests you. You will be required to attend extracurricular activities and meetings, hearing from guest lecturers of your interests. This is what makes graduate school so diverse, multidisciplinary. For students with passionate in academic interest, then, the question on why we should go to graduate school is very much obvious. Number 5, contribute to the world's knowledge. Undergraduate study gave you the opportunity to understand existing knowledge in your field. Graduate school, however, will give you the opportunity to contribute to that body of knowledge. And number 6, make connections. Unlike undergraduate level student life, which is widely associated with socializing, sleeping late, and cramming, graduate school is much more about connecting with people professionally, not just with fellow students, but with faculty members too. As a graduate student, you will need to learn how to network like a pro by honing your people skills. Networking means you'll be connecting with like-minded people within a professional context in order to collaborate, discuss, and further your own knowledge, skills, and professional circle. The very nature of graduate school makes finding friends who are motivated, focused, and mature just a little bit easier. Let me give you these challenges. Reach out beyond your comfort zone. Don't stay inside. Think big. Move with confidence. You are here in Bicol University for a reason. Bicol University accepted you, and she expects a lot of you. And you can live up to her expectations. Share yourselves with each other and delve in great depths of what our university has to offer. I wish you the very best in your graduate studies and welcome once again to Bicol University. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Luis O. Amano, the Vice President for Research, Development, and Extension of Bicol University. And now, let us listen to the message from our visionary Bicol University President, Dr. Arnulfo M. Mascareñas.
To the Dean of the Bicol University Graduate School, Dr. Herbert Rosana, faculty members, graduate students, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. In postgraduate literature, the journey metaphor has become the most used trope to convey the experiences that a graduate student embraces as he or she navigates the road to academic success. Akin to a journey, there are times when the roads are straight and times when they are winding and slippery, and it needs grit and determination to reach the desired destination. The graduate student is likened to that of a solo traveler in pursuit of new discoveries, one who is perpetually hungry for new knowledge and experiences. But the traveler does not travel alone. Throughout the journey, the traveler is accompanied by professors who act as tour guides. As both traveler and tour guide embark on this journey, both are changed. Out of this dialectical relationship, the traveler gets insightful, astute, and appropriate guidance, while the tour guide likewise develops a new way of looking at things. As in the words of the great Marcel Proust, the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. To our graduate students, let me congratulate you for your decision to pursue further studies at a time of so much uncertainty. Welcome to the world of intellectual labor, where procrastination is lethal and sleep is a luxury. But kidding aside, as you very well know, going to graduate school demands commitment, while keeping a healthy balance between academics and the various aspects of your personal life can be a daunting task. This is also not impossible. If you keep your eyes fixed on your goal and embody the values of courage, consciousness, resilience, and grit, which is the ability to persist in what you feel passionate about and persevere even in the midst of insurmountable odds, I guarantee that you will not only arrive at your destination, you will also personally experience the beauty of the trip. My dear graduate students, know that you are in good hands. As the premier university in the Bicol region, our graduate programs remain unrivaled in terms of quality in the region, and our curriculum is likewise at par with the best universities in the Philippines. I urge you to keep the torch of wisdom burning by being a paragon of scholarship, leadership, service, and character as you live out the core values with true blue BUNU. And to the faculty members of the BU Graduate School, I earnestly entreat you to help our students become better versions of themselves. As New York Times best-selling author and speaker Mandy Hale succinctly puts it, there's nothing more beautiful than someone who goes out of their way to make life beautiful for others. May the seeds of inspiration that I sowed in your hearts today grow and flourish, and may this embolden you as you embark on yet another adventure of a lifetime. Again, a pleasant afternoon to all. May God bless us all.
That concludes the opening ceremonies for the Bicol University Graduate School Orientation Program. We shall now be proceeding to the orientation proper. Please welcome back Dr. Herbert B. Rosana, Dean of the Bicol University Graduate School, to give us an orientation on the policies and procedures in thesis and dissertation writing.
Good morning, my dear friends. Thank you for coming to this orientation program. As the Dean of the Graduate School, it is my duty to present to you today the policies on thesis and dissertation writing. I consider this as a most important part of this orientation because the peak of graduate education is the writing of the thesis and the dissertation. And I know that I am aware that some of you are already in the process of writing their thesis and dissertation, and some have just enrolled as new students in thesis and dissertation writing. And it is very important that we be guided by the rules and protocols that we follow in the process of writing the thesis and dissertation to ensure the smooth sailing process in this very important activity in the graduate school. Thesis writing and dissertation writing are very important because this is the peak of the career of a graduate student in the graduate school. The purpose of graduate education is to enhance your ability to generate knowledge and to be able to disseminate this knowledge in order to improve the quality of life, to improve the body of knowledge, and at the same time also to improve our current practice of our professions. And I would like also to emphasize that thesis writing and dissertation is not just the mere collection of data. This is not just a simple form of research, but rather it is an exercise of putting meaning into that data. So when we have gathered this data, that we put meaning to it, and that we are able to integrate it to our theory, to improve the theory, to fill a gap in the literature, and to discover new knowledge and disseminate this knowledge to the general public. And not only to the general public, but specifically to the discipline where we belong. So without much ado, let me present to you. Allow me to share with you my screen. And today I will be orienting you on the policies and procedures in thesis and dissertation writing in the graduate school. And I would like to make this disclaimer or this announcement that the policies and procedures I am presenting to you today is the current procedures that we are implementing. But sooner, in a month's time or maybe in a few months' time, we will be implementing the new policies and procedures in the graduate school. And by then, we will give you another orientation for that. But for the meantime, to make things easier for everyone, and especially for those who are in thesis writing at this moment, let me present to you the current practice, the policies and procedures that are in force, so that you will be guided when you come to the graduate school and seek our assistance on this regard. Okay. Maybe you will ask the question, when can I enroll in thesis writing? After earning your 12 units of course work, graduate credit, if you have already earned 12 units in graduate credit, you are allowed to enroll in thesis and dissertation writing. So the student may enroll in a fraction of thesis dissertation as follows. So like for example, in thesis writing, you are required to earn at least 6 units. So the graduate students can divide this into 3 semesters, so 2 by 2 by 2, or the student may opt to have it in 2 semesters, that's 3 by 3. So depending on your time and then the nature of your problem. And it is advisable that after completing the 12 units while doing the rest of the coursework, that you start the process of writing your thesis or dissertation. So do not wait for the time that you finish all the coursework and then that's the only time you will be writing your thesis or dissertation. So it is better that it is synchronized with the whole process, not only to conserve the time, but also to be able to take opportunity of conversing with our advisors and with the faculty of the graduate school. Now, in dissertation writing, you are required to earn 12 units of dissertation writing. And in this process, you can divide the process in 3 semesters, that is 4 by 4 by 4, or 4 semesters, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. So all students enrolled in thesis and dissertation writing shall report to their respective advisors for consultation. So each graduate student will be given an advisor. And if you are a new student who have just enrolled in thesis writing, maybe you are at a loss of what to do. So here is what you need to do. First of all, you have to look for your program advisor, the one who is in charge with the program, and inquire from him or her what to do next, and you will be guided. They will guide you as to the next step. Then in Article 3, the student must select his or her graduate research advisor upon enrolling his or her thesis dissertation and after completing the 12 units of coursework. The advisor should come preferably from among the regular faculty members of the graduate school, and his or her expertise should be in line with the research problem of the student. The thesis and dissertation advisor will be designated upon the recommendation of the program advisor, endorsed by the dean of the college and approved by the dean of the graduate school. A thesis or dissertation advisor shall be allowed to have a maximum of 5 active advisees in the graduate school per term. After the designation of thesis or dissertation advisor, a graduate faculty must have satisfied 3 of the following qualifications. So, ito muna ha, ipapaliwanag ko sa inyo. When you enroll in thesis writing, the first thing that you have to submit is the concept note. And attached to that concept note is the green form wherein you are requesting for your thesis or dissertation advisor. In the green form, you will be required to nominate 3 faculty members to be your advisor, but only one will be chosen by the dean of the graduate school. Okay, so you have to write them in the proper order. The most preferred one will be, you will write them in put them in the number 1, then in the succeeding order up to number 3. So what is the purpose? Why do we require you to nominate 3 individuals to be your advisor? Because to give us also a bigger parameter in the choice of advisors that we will assign to you. So it will also depend on the availability of the advisor. For example, if your number 1 choice is not available, then we will have to cascade to the second choice. And if the second choice is not available, then we will have to cascade to number 3. And maybe upon our evaluation, for example, if number 2 or number 3 is more qualified or is more adept or capable in your thesis writing, then we may have the option to assign either of among the 3. That's the main reason why. Now, please take note of the qualifications of the advisor. So as you choose your advisor, please be guided by these qualifications. This is not only for the student but also for the program advisor to be guided. So the advisor must be at least a master's degree holder for the master's program. Then a doctoral advisor must also be a doctorate degree holder. And then they must have conducted at least 2 researches outside of their thesis or dissertation during the last 10 years prior to his or her accreditation. Then number 3, must have published a research paper or presented papers in any research forum. And number 4, must have been an advisor of at least 3 students who have graduated with an MA or MS degree or 5 advisees in the undergraduate thesis. So these are the qualifications of thesis and dissertation advisor. These are just the minimum qualifications. Okay. In cases where the required expertise is not available from the faculty pool, the graduate student may be allowed to get an advisor outside of the graduate faculty of the university, subject to the approval of the dean of the graduate school. So meaning to say, if there is no available faculty members to advise you in the department, you and your advisor have you have the option to look for an advisor outside of the graduate school. But the same recommendee will be evaluated based on our criteria and based on the judgment of the dean of the graduate school as it complies with our quality and standards. Then, thesis or dissertation topic should be in accordance with the research trust of the university and furnish the Research and Development Office a copy for inventory purposes. So, dapat ang ating mga topics sa dissertation at saka sa thesis ay naka-align doon sa mga priority na naipahayag ng Bicol University. Then, thesis dissertation topic should be in line with the student's field of specialization. So, for example, if your field is public administration, or for example, if your field of specialization is biology, then you have to write a thesis or dissertation in line with your field of specialization. Do not submit and do not attempt to write a paper which is not in accord with your degree program. Okay. And then, the thesis or dissertation student shall follow the prescribed thesis dissertation format for its degree program. So you have to consult your advisor and the program advisor also as to the format that we follow in the graduate school. Then, number 9, the role of the advisor is to guide the student through all aspects of the research work, from proposal preparation, conduct of research, preparation of manuscript, to the final defense and the final revision. That's why it's very important that you choose an advisor who is in line with your field of specialization and where you can establish a working relationship with your advisor. Take note that your dissertation or your thesis is not an independent work, but rather it is a work under the supervision of your advisor, and your advisor as the supervisor of your paper, of your research, has also a certain degree of accountability and responsibility in the paper that you are writing. So this is the partnership between the thesis and the thesis writer and the advisor. Now, a student who is ready with his or her research proposal should be able to defend it before a thesis or dissertation committee panel to be formed by the dean of the graduate school in consultation with the advisor. The panel committee will be composed of the graduate faculty members whose field of specialization is in line with the research topic or problem of the graduate students. So, pag tapos na ang ready ka na for the proposal, then you will have to fill up the yellow form requesting for a panel member. Now, the thesis dissertation panel committee shall be composed of 4 members, including the chair for the master's degree, and 5, including the chair for the doctoral degree. At least 1 or 2 of the members should be a research or statistics expert, and 1 or 2 external members coming from accredited graduate schools or other agencies, or distinguished individual whose expertise shall be in line with the research topic of the student and can be included in the panel. So ito po ang purpose kung bakit tayo kumukuha ng mga external panel members. The purpose is to be able to gain meaningful inputs from practitioners and from those people with highly developed skills and who has acquired a vast amount of knowledge na pwedeng magpa-improve at magdagdag ng suggestion doon sa paper mo para mas lalo siyang gumanda at maging kapaki-pakinabang. Then the application for thesis and dissertation proposal defense shall be made not later than 1 week before the date of defense. So take note of the reckoning time. When you apply for a defense, then there must be a 1 week interval between that. Okay. Now, the student must be able to incorporate all the suggestions made and agreed upon by the panel or the committee. So after defending your proposal, you must always have with you the minutes of the proposal so that you will be able to revise and comply according to what they have suggested. And should the thesis or dissertation evaluation panel so advise, the students shall engage the services of an editor or a statistician. Payment for services of the editor and a statistician shall be made directly by the student, and the amount of which shall be compensatory to the work done on the manuscript and the service rendered. Then no student will be allowed to proceed with his or her research without an approved research proposal. So hindi ka pwede mag-gather ng data, hindi ka pwede magsulat ng research mo hanggat hindi na a-approvean ang iyong proposal. The approval of your dissertation or thesis proposal does not stop in the proposal aspect itself, but it goes to the office of the president and it goes to the different offices for validation and approval. Then, the change of advisor and changes in the composition of panel members may be allowed under justifiable grounds and subject to the approval of the Dean of the Graduate School. A written waiver from the parties concerned shall be obtained and submitted by the student to the graduate school. Katulad ng sinabi ko, for every rule, there's always an exception. Kaya minsan, hindi rin natin maiwasan na magkaroon ng pagbabago sa composition ng ating advisor at saka ng ating panel members. And there are a lot of reasons given by students. It can range from personal reasons or from reasons of time and relationship, etc., etc. So, because an advisor should have sufficient time for the students, and the students should also diligently seek the advice of their advisors, the guidance of their advisors. So, pag hindi maganda yung kinalalabasan na relationship, so kailangan magkaroon ng pagbabago. Pwede naman yun. Pinapayagan natin yun. We allow that. But provided that it must undergo the process of seeking permission from the dean and also writing a waiver wherein all the parties concerned will agree to the proposition. Okay. As soon as the research report is ready, the student may apply for a pre-oral defense upon the recommendation of the advisor and the program chair, endorsed by the dean of the college and approved by the dean of the graduate school. Confident of the quality of his or her paper, a student may request for the final oral defense without going through the pre-orals. In such a case, the dean of the graduate school the dean of the college may convene a panel to assess the merits of the paper, and upon favorable recommendation of the panel shall be endorsed by the dean of the graduate school, in which case the student may be allowed to forego with the pre-oral defense. And a paper that passes a pre-oral defense shall be scheduled for final defense as soon as the necessary revisions have been made. So in other words, I would like to emphasize and make it clear that all students defending their thesis and dissertation are required to have a pre-oral. But there are also cases when there can be some exceptions to the rule. Yan, there can be exceptions to the rule. So, confident of the quality of his or her paper, a student may request for final oral defense without going through the pre-orals. Meaning to say, pag na-judge ng committee na medyo maganda na, ready na yung paper, at pwede na siyang i-recommend ng advisor towards a final defense na hindi na siya dadaan doon sa pre-oral defense. Ang purpose kasi ng pre-oral is to serve as a clearinghouse para ma-check yung paper, the readiness of the paper. Because the final oral defense is very important because it will define the manner or it will define the culmination of the process of your study, whether you pass or you revise your paper. And sometimes the final oral examination is also graded. You are being assessed based on a rubrics or criteria. That's the main reason why it's very important that your paper is ready so that it will not subtract to the quality of your paper. So the purpose of the final examination is to pass judgment on the research of the candidate. And the candidate may apply for the examination when his or her research is completed in the form acceptable to his or her advisor, who shall affix the signature on the application for final examination. And the venue of the proposal defense, pre-oral examination, and final examination shall strictly be within the university campus. And also, now that we are in the pandemic, most of our defenses are done online and remotely. And we have to stick to our schedule. We have to stick to the meeting ID that we have provided, and that is for the meantime. So your paper or your thesis or dissertation will be evaluated based on these rubrics. For the defense, that is equivalent to 40%. For the substance, 50%, and for the form and style, 10%. So the chair of the panel committee shall report the result of the examination to the dean of the graduate school not later than 3 days after the date of the final examination. Remember that it is the duty of the panel advisor to collect the documentation of the proceedings, and it has to be submitted to the graduate school not later than 3 days. So, my friends, these are the ito yung mga sinasabi kong these are what the rules and protocols and processes in dissertation writing. I hope that if you have questions, you can ask them later on in our open forum. So thank you very much, my friends, for joining me in this presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Herbert B. Rosana, the ever-dynamic Dean of the Bicol University Graduate School, for your comprehensive discussion of the policies and procedures in thesis and dissertation writing. Ladies and gentlemen, graduate students, at this point, please give a warm welcome to Dr. Melinda D. De Guzman, Professor 6, to discuss the academic policies and procedures of the Graduate School, Bicol University.
Good morning, everyone. I am tasked to discuss the policies, rules, and procedures for the graduate studies in Bicol University. My name is Dr. Melinda De Guzman, Core Faculty of Open University. Good morning. This policies, guidelines, and procedures for graduate studies in Bicol University was approved by the Bicol University Board of Regents last June 28, 2021 via Zoom video conference of the BOR number 112 series of 2021. There are 10 sections of the Chapter 9 General Rules and Procedures. To start, admission, registration, advanced transfer credit, the Section 4 residence requirement and time limit, Section 5 leave of absence, Section 6 coursework requirements, Section 7 Student Advisory Committee, Section 8 Qualifying examinations for doctoral programs, Section 9, Grading System, and Section 10, Comprehensive Examinations. Section 1 Admissions, Article 1. Applicants for admission to graduate school must be holders of appropriate degrees. For the master's degree, must be holders of an appropriate bachelor's degree or have completed an appropriate graduate diploma course. Doctoral degree must be graduates of an appropriate master's degree, and graduate diploma program must be holders of any bachelor's degree. Article 2 of Admission. Admission of prospective student shall be approved by the Dean of the Graduate School upon the recommendation of the Admissions Committee based on the following. A general weighted average of 2.2 or its equivalent for applicants in the master's program. 1.7 or its equivalent for applicants in the doctoral program, and 2.5 or its equivalent for the diploma programs. Letter B. Appropriateness of previous degrees earned as vertically articulated to the graduate program applied for. Relatedness of work experiences to the graduate program applied for demonstrated ability to conduct research. Another criteria prescribed by the committee, example, entrance examinations for master's and doctoral applicants and interview. Article 3, applicants from universities where English is the medium of instruction and with TOEFL score below 460 or IELTS score below 5.0 should take the English proficiency examinations to be administered by the BU Language Center examination. Those who do not meet the required level of proficiency of graduate studies in BU may be admitted on probationary status with the condition that they should take the intensive English course for international students offered by the Language Center prior to or during their first semester of residency of the programs. Article 4 of the Admission. Admission in the graduate school shall be classified either as regular status or probationary status or denied admission. What is regular admission? Is offered to an applicant whose academic requirements and supporting documents indicate that he or she is qualified to undertake graduate in his or her chosen field. Probationary admission is offered to an applicant whose academic requirements and supporting documents indicate deficiencies but show promise of success in graduate studies. Probationary admission is also offered to international students whose academic background qualify for admission but who failed to show proof of English proficiency. An applicant admitted on probationary status must meet the specific requirements prescribed by the program advisor before his probationary status can be changed to regular status. An applicant who fails to meet the terms of his probationary admission is automatically disqualified from pursuing his intended program of study. Letter C. Applicants who are denied admission due to lacking requirements in the intended graduate program of study may have their applications reconsidered only after submission of additional documents not submitted at the time of original evaluation. Applicants denied admission due to poor academic credentials are discouraged from reapplying for admission. And reapplying for admission for a graduate program can only be allowed once. Take note of this, my dear students. Article 5, applicants in graduate programs must submit a duly accomplished application form or BAGS Form 1 together with the following: A. Original copy of official transcript of records from the institution previously attended. A photocopy of a special order for graduates of private school. A copy of honorable dismissal from school last attended. For international students, a certification from the registrar of the previous higher education institution attended that English is the medium of instruction, or English proficiency test or the TOEFL is score of 460 or IELTS score of 5.0. And letter E, payment of admission fee, attach official receipt or proof of payment. Letters of recommendation, preferably from 2 former professors, which can you ask for the form of 2 and directly send to the BU Graduate School, and the photocopy of birth certificate. Article 6 of Section 1 Admission, accomplished application form for admission together with the aforementioned requirement should be received by the graduate school on or before May 15 for the first semester admission, and together in October 15 for second semester admission. I repeat, accomplished application form for admission together with the aforementioned requirements should be received by the graduate school on or before May 15 for the first semester admission and October 15 for second semester admission. Maybe this will adjust since if May 15 and October 15 will fall on Sunday. Upon endorsement by the Chair of Admission Committee, the Dean of the Graduate School shall issue an official letter of notification to the applicant as to the status of his or her application. The letter of notification on status of admission shall be sent out beginning July 15 for the first semester admission and December 15 for second semester admission. The admission process is not complete until applicant acknowledges admission through letter of acceptance. Article 9 of Section 1 Admission. Deferment of admission for a period not exceeding 1 year may be granted upon written request. A student unable to register within 1 year of admission needs to reapply for admission to the graduate school. Article 10. A graduate student who opts to shift to another graduate program will undergo the same admission process to be admitted in the intended program. Section 2. Registration. Article 1. Applicants admitted to any of the degree program will be allowed to register only upon presentation of the letter of admission issued by the Office of the Dean of the Graduate School. So its registration will start from the Dean of the Graduate School. Article 2. A student may carry the regular load of 12 units in a semester students can enroll up to 6 units in mid-year. However, a student may be allowed to carry more than the regular academic load under justifiable circumstances, recommended by the advisor and approved by the Dean of the Graduate School. Article 3. Students on probationary status may be allowed to register the following term after completing 9 units of coursework with a general weighted average of 2.0 and upon submission of an approved change of status from probationary to regular issued by the Office of the Dean of the Graduate School. Article 4. Students on probationary status who fails to meet the terms of this probationary admission is automatically qualified from pursuing his intended program of studies. Section 3. Advance or transfer credits. Article 1. A student whose application for admission has already been approved and is duly matriculated may apply for advance credit or transfer credits for academic units earned in another institution upon the presentation of credentials showing that he or she enrolled and passed in the courses which are fully equivalent to those offered in the BU or Bicol University Graduate School for which credit is sought, and passing the validating test required by the graduate program in instances where 5 or more years have lapsed since the last enrollment. Article 2. Not more than 9 units of advanced credit or transfer credits may be granted to a student for coursework, work experiences, and training obtained, example, the EET-YAP, and other equivalency system done towards the graduate degree unless coursework is done in another institution of higher learning with prior approval of a duly constituted advisory committee. Application for advanced credit should be filed with graduate school during the first semester of residence. Article 3. No credit shall be given for coursework that has been credited towards any other degree. Section 4 of Residence Requirement Time Limit. Article 1. The student is in residence when he or she is registered for coursework in campus or work in absentia with due approval in advance by his or her advisory committee. The period that the student is on approved leave of absence or the LOA is excluded in the counting of residency. So students, please don't forget to file a leave of absence. Article 2. Maximum of 5 years and 7 years of actual residence from the start of the graduate work shall be allowed for the fulfillment of all requirements for the master's degree and doctoral degree, respectively. Section 5. Leave of absence. Article 1. A leave of absence may be availed by a student who does not intend to enroll in a semester or by a student who is currently enrolled and who intends to withdraw his or her enrollment for the rest of the semester. Article 2. The application for leave of absence of a student who does not intend to enroll in semester shall be filed at least 2 weeks before the start of the semester, while for students who are currently enrolled and wish to withdraw his or her enrollment, application for leave should be filed at 2 weeks before his intended withdrawal commences. Article 3. The application shall state the reasons for the leave and shall specify the period, which in no case shall exceed 1 academic year, subject to renewal for very meritorious reasons. Once granted, appropriate notice shall be sent to the concerned student. Such approved written petition shall be made part of the student's record. Article 4. If the student withdraws after 3/4 of the total number of hours prescribed for the course has already elapsed, her professor shall submit a grade of drop if class standing is passing, or a grade of 5.0 if class standing is failing up to the time of her withdrawal. Section 5, Leave of Absence, Article 5. A student who is in a WOL status for a total of more than 2 school years for masters and more than 3 school years for doctoral will be automatically terminated from the program. Time spent under the AWOL status will be considered part of the prescribed period to finish the degree. Article 6. A student returning from a leave of absence shall file in writing a letter to the Dean of the Graduate School declaring her intention to enroll. Similarly, the AWOL status shall be lifted only upon approval by the Dean of a written request by the student. Article 7. Total leave time in the degree program must not exceed 2 years. Take note of this. The total leave time in the degree program must not exceed 2 years. We are now on the Section 6 of coursework requirements. For coursework requirement, Article 1, there shall be a prescribed minimum number of units of coursework for each graduate program in the master's, doctoral, and in diploma program. A graduate student within his or her first semester of residence must prepare a plan of coursework considering the prescribed residence for a period of a degree program. Of course, this is in consultation with his or her advisory committee recommended by the department chair, program advisor, endorsed by the college secretary for approval by the dean of the graduate school, and the registrar shall be furnished a copy of the approved plan of coursework. This is your Bible and throughout your stay in the Bicol University Graduate School. Article 3. The approved plan of coursework shall become the official program of the degree and must be completely satisfied. Application for changes in the approved plan of coursework must be in consultation with his or her advisory committee, recommended by the department chair or program advisor, endorsed by the college secretary for approval by the dean of the graduate school, and the registrar shall furnish a copy of the approved plan of coursework. Article 4. A graduate student who fails to finish his or her master's program may be considered for a graduate diploma upon application and compliance of all requirements as prescribed in the diploma program. Article 5. A student granted with a graduate diploma may be allowed to pursue the master's degree, the thesis or non-thesis, subject to pertinent policies of the graduate school as long as his or her general weighted average is 1.7. Those with general weighted average lower than 1.7 may pursue additional 2 subjects as recommended by the program advisor, provided they obtain a general weighted average of 1.7 in these subjects. Article 6. A student may be allowed to enroll additional subjects outside of the curriculum of his/her program, provided this has been within the approved changes in the approved plan of coursework. Change in the coursework is subject to the approval of the advisory committee. Section 7. Student Advisory Committee. Article 1. The student, in consultation with the department chair, program advisor, selects his or her major professor from a pool of qualified advisors provided by the graduate school who shall serve as academic and thesis dissertation advisor. The advisor must be a doctoral degree holder with completed and ongoing research creative work within the first semester of enrollment. The student, in consultation with the advisor, selects other members of the advisory committee from a pool of qualified faculty provided by the graduate school. Membership in advisory committee shall be with the mutual consent of the individual selected to serve. Article 2. The advisory committee shall have among its members content and method specialists. The advisory committee shall be composed of 4 members for the master's degree and 6 for the doctoral degree. The advisory committee for a master's shall be composed of thesis advisor, content, committee chair, content, and the 2 members content and method for masters, while the advisory committee for doctoral shall be composed of dissertation advisor, who has the content, the committee chair, who has the content, and the 4 members content and method. Article 3. The composition of the advisory committee will be designated upon the recommendation of department chair and program advisor, endorsed by the secretary of the graduate school and approved by the dean of the graduate school. Article 4. The student may select a thesis co-advisor with the recommendation of the advisor and approval by the dean of the graduate school. And Article 5. For the designation as thesis dissertation advisor, a graduate faculty must be a doctoral degree holder and have satisfied the following qualifications. A. Must completed an ongoing research creative work duly certified by the Office of the Vice President for Research and Development. Must have published work in internationally or nationally indexed journals or have produced publicly recognized creative or technology outputs. Must have been an advisor for at least 3 students who have graduated with an MA or MS degree for doctoral advisors, or 5 advices in the undergraduate thesis or master's advisor. Article 6. For designation as thesis panel chair and member for master's students, a graduate faculty must be a master's degree holder and have satisfied any of the following qualifications. A. Must have completed an ongoing research creative work duly certified by OB/PRDE. Letter B. Must publish a research paper. And letter C. Must have been an advisor for at least 3 advices in the undergraduate thesis. Section 7, the Student Advisory Committee. For designation as dissertation panel chair and member for doctoral students, a graduate faculty must be a doctoral degree holder and have satisfied any of the following qualifications. A. Must have completed an ongoing research creative work duly certified by OBPRDE. Must have published a research paper. Must have been an advisor for at least one student who have graduated with an MA or MS degree. Article 7. In cases where the required expertise is not available from the faculty pool, the graduate student may be allowed to get an advisor outside of the graduate faculty of the university subject to the same process of approval by the dean of the graduate school. Of course, it shall meet the requirements standard of Bicol University. Article 8. The advisor should be responsible for A. Advising the student in the preparation of the thesis dissertation proposal, guiding and monitoring his or thesis dissertation research, submitting a yearly evaluation report to the Student Records Committee, endorsing his or her advices, thesis dissertation for final examination, mentor, guide for the preparation of journal article for publication, and facilitate in the preparation and submission of necessary documents for timely payment of honorarium of the advisory committee. Article 9. The advisory committee chair and member shall be tasked to A. Review the validity and acceptability of the thesis dissertation work in terms of its scholarly quality, correctness of the facts and claims contained therein, and completeness as to its basic components. Letter B. Verify that all suggestions are judiciously incorporated. Letter C. Evaluate the research report based on the adopted format and criteria and be physically present during the oral defense. Article 9. At all time, the advisor to student ratio is 1 full-time faculty per maximum of 5 students, inclusive of thesis, dissertation for both, and of campus students. Section 8. The qualifying examination for doctoral programs. Article 1. The student must take the qualifying examination to be conducted by the advisory committee before the registration for the second semester of residence. The result of the examination will be the basis for evaluating the student's ability to pursue doctoral study and for determining a suitable program of coursework. Article 2. The student should submit his or her application for the qualifying examination duly recommended by his or her advisory committee and endorsed by the department chair, program advisor to the dean of the graduate school not later than 1 month before the date of examination. The details of the qualifying examination shall be left to the discretion of the advisory committee. Article 3. To pass the examination. Listen to this, my dear students. To pass the examination, the student must receive not more than 1 negative vote of the committee. Article 4. If the student fails his/her qualifying examination, No re-examination shall be allowed except on the unanimous approval of his or her advisory committee. If the student fails the re-examination, he or she shall permanently disqualified from earning the degree. Article 5, the advisor shall submit to the Dean of the Graduate School a report on the result of the examination within 1 week after the examination. Section 9, Grading System. The university shall have a uniform grading system using numbered grades from 1.0 to 5.0, where 1.0 is the highest, 3.0 is the lowest passing grade, and 5.0 is failure. A grade of 4.0 is conditional and can only be given as midterm grade. An incomplete grade indicates incomplete coursework. An incomplete grade obtained from the previous semester must be completed within a year. Otherwise, it will be converted to a failing grade automatically in the online registration system. Article 2, the passing grade in the graduate school is 3.0, but a graduate student has to maintain a general weighted average of 2.0 or better to be allowed to take the comprehensive examination. Article 3, a student who incurred a failing mark in his coursework may be allowed to retake the course once as subject to the provisions of the approved coursework and a residence rule. Section 10. This is the most awaited, the comprehensive examinations. Article 1. The comprehensive examination, which is to be given by the department offering the program, shall test the student's competence in integrating knowledge in his her major and minor fields and shall be based on all courses prescribed for all students. This integrative comprehensive examination shall be in written form for the master's level and in oral and written forms for the doctoral degree. Article 2. After completing the academic course requirements with a general weighted average of 2 or 2.0 or better, the student shall submit his or her application for the comprehensive examination duly signed by the advisory committee recommended by the department chair, program advisor, and endorsed by the secretary of the graduate school for approval by the dean of the graduate school not later than 2 weeks before the date of examination. Article 3. The registrar shall certify that the student obtained a general weighted average of 2.0 or better. No student will be allowed to take the comprehensive examination if he or she has an incomplete grade in any courses or general weighted average below 2.0. Any INC or incomplete grade must be completed in the prescribed period allowed. Take note of this. Article 4. A student whose general weighted average is lower than 2.0 shall be given the chance to qualify by allowing him or her to take 2 additional courses, which is the 6 units, upon the recommendation of the advisory committee to obtain the required general weighted average. If the student fails to qualify, he or she may avail of the diploma course for the program if available. Article 5. A student who fails the comprehensive examination on her or his first attempt shall be given another chance to take the comprehensive examination not earlier than 1 month but not later than 1 year after the first examination. Failure to pass the re-examination disqualifies the student permanently from earning the degree. Article 6. The program advisor shall submit to the Dean of the Graduate School a report on the result within 2 weeks after the examination. And Article 7. To achieve a standardized procedure among graduate programs, the graduate school shall devise a mechanism on the conduct of the comprehensive examination. Section 10 of Comprehensive Examination, Article 3, the registrar shall comply the student or obtain a general weighted average of 2 or better. No student will be allowed to take the comprehensive examination if he or she has the incomplete grade in any course or general weighted average before 2 or any incomplete grade must be completed in the prescribed period allowed. A student whose general weighted average is lower than 2 shall be given the chance to qualify by allowing him or her to take 2 additional courses, 6 units, upon the recommendation of the advisory committee to obtain the required general weighted average. If the student fails to qualify, he or she may avail the diploma course for the program if available. A student who fails the comprehensive examination on his or her first attempt shall be given another chance to take the comprehensive examination not earlier than 1 month but not later than 1 year after the first examination. Failure to pass the re-examination disqualifies the student permanently from earning the degree. Article 6. The program advisor shall submit to the Dean of the Graduate School a report on the result of 2 weeks after the examination. Article 7. To achieve a standardized procedure among graduate programs, the graduate school shall devise a mechanism on the conduct of comprehensive examination. Thank you very much for listening, my dear student. This is now the enhanced and approved new policies and procedures of the BU Graduate School for this school year. God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Dr. De Guzman, for your discussion and presentation of the academic policies and procedures. At this point, please welcome Dr. Aris Ordonez, Director of the Information, Communication, and Technology Office, to give us an introduction on the services that may be availed of in connection with the Information, Communication, and Technology Office.
Good day. This is Aris Ordonez, the Director of the ICT Office of Bicol University. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome everybody to Bicol University. This pandemic may have brought all of us to a halt, make disruptions to our way of life, and makes us miss most of the things that we love doing for the moment. Education, however, must not stop. Bicol University will continue delivering quality education along with each other's services regardless of the situation. Hard as it may seem, our office is committed to provide the necessary services along information and communication technology to bring everybody together, provide the necessary support to make education possible amidst restrictions, and allow you to make your stay in the university to be as substantial, memorable, and enjoyable as possible. Our office will provide the necessary avenue using information technology as a tool, as a bridge, and as a method as you take on your journey as students of Bicol University vying for your academic degrees. For you to better understand the function of the ICT office and the services that it provides, let us all take a look at this.
The Student Center is the portal of every BUeño to the online services of the university. It covers access to the enrollment process, viewing of grades, student schedule, requests for transcript of records and other student documents, and faculty evaluation. To access the Student Center, open the Bicol University website, scroll to the bottom and click on the link that says my.bicol-u student portal. The next screen will show the different access links to the system. Choose any server to access the application. Log in using your student number and password to access its offered services. Once inside the system, students can view their grades, self-enroll, and evaluate their respective professors. Bicol University, through its affiliation with Google, allows students to utilize the services of Google by using their university-assigned email addresses. Simply log into Google using the student's email address and start using all of its applications. This includes email, Google Classroom, Google Drive, Hangout, Meet, Jamboard, and all of the Google Office applications such as Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, and Google Form. To access the University Learning Management System, simply scroll down to the bottom of the BU website and click on the BU-LMS link to access the application. Your email addresses will also be your login credentials to access the LMS. Some students may tend to forget their login information to their email in LMS. The ICT office provides assistance for the students by simply accessing the Google form provided to indicate their request for services. Simply fill up the form and send. All these services may be accessed online. However, if there's an instance where you feel the need to visit us personally, you may do so by dropping by at the second floor of the Building 1 of the College of Science at the main campus. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Aris Ordonez, the Director for the Information Communication Technology Office. To give you an introduction to the library services of the Bicol University, please welcome Ms. Leila Belardo, our University Librarian.
Hi everyone and good day to our students and faculty. It's a new semester again and we're excited to acquaint you about the library's resources and services. On behalf of Ms. Glenda Aurora Julianda, our OIC and all the staff of the University Library, welcome and we hope that everyone is doing well and safe as you continue or start your academic journey in Bicol University. I am Laila Belardo, your Reference and Information Services Librarian of the University Library. This virtual orientation will basically cover our resources, services, and the library policies under this new normal. The University Library is physically located at the back of the BU Grandstand and beside the University Clinic. Aside from the University Library, we have 7 other college libraries situated in the colleges and satellite campuses, namely College of Law, Health Sciences, Tabaco Campus, East Campus, Pulangi Campus, College of Agriculture and Forestry, and Gubat Campus libraries. We are open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We currently accommodate researchers by batch since seats are limited. Researchers can choose among these 3 schedules: 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. We are closed during Saturdays for disinfection, on Sundays, and during holidays. The library is open for free to all currently enrolled BU students. We do not require a library card because we will be using the BU ID later on. For now, you may present the hard copy or e-copy of your certificate of registration for the current semester. We would like to ask all students, especially our new students, to fill out the online patron record form available at tinyurl.com/ulpatronrecord so we can update or add your details in our patron database. The library houses a collection of print books, theses and dissertation, and journals. We also have electronic resources in the form of open access and subscription-based ebooks and e-journals. The gateway to the list of books, thesis and dissertation available at the library is our online public access catalog or OPAC. It is accessible on the web through the link shown on this slide. The OPAC is very user-friendly and does not require a password. At the home page, you may choose a field and type a keyword or the topic of your research. For further instructions, you may go to our YouTube channel for an instruction on how to navigate the OPAC even at the comfort of your homes. The library has a current subscription to an online database called Gale Academic OneFile. This database includes articles from peer-reviewed journals with full text and citations which can be downloaded for free. Shown here is the URL or link. It's https://link.gale.com/apps/menu?u=phbcall. The Academic OneFile database also houses our current subscription of 91 ebooks. These ebooks can also be downloaded for free. The homepage of the Academic OneFile database is shown on this slide. You will be asked to type in the institutional password, and to get the password, you have to send us a message through our contact details, which I will mention in the next slides. The remote access password for this database is given by request since this is exclusively for academic research use of our BU students and personnel. You can also go to our YouTube channel to view the instruction video on how to use this database. We also curate open access resources from reputable sources on the web and other libraries. These are shared and posted in our social media platforms and website. At the start of the opening of classes last August 2020, the library provided the following services in addition to our traditional services. We now have the online Ask a Librarian, online book reservation, requests for document scanning, provision of links to e-resources, and online seat reservation for on-site research. Our reference and information services is available online. You can talk to our reference librarian through Facebook, email, or text. And also you can send your questions or requests any time of the day, but please expect a response from us during office hours. To reserve a book, you can browse our OPAC, then fill up the Ask Risa form, which is available through this link, tinyurl.com/askrisa. Wait for our librarian to respond to your query and a confirmation message when the books can be personally picked up at the library. Enrolled graduate students can borrow a maximum of 2 books at a time. foreign and Filipiniana general circulation books can be borrowed for 1 week, while unpublished materials such as our thesis and dissertation are strictly for browsing only within the library. Books may be renewed once by sending us a message on or before the due date. Books that you borrowed and taken home should be returned on time to avoid paying fines. Fines is out at 5 pesos per hour after 3 p.m. on your due date, and students with accountabilities are listed in our online student clearance system or OSCS. If you need to do research physically at the university library, you can make a seat reservation using this link to our online Google form, tinyurl.com/ulseatreservation. BU students can also go as walk-in, but we recommend booking an appointment so you can be given priority since seats are limited to comply with social distancing protocols. Please do send your reservation at least 1 to 2 days before your intended day of visit and during library hours, Monday to Friday. Requests that were submitted after office hours, during weekends or holidays will be responded to on the next working day. Also, we do not accommodate on-the-day reservations. Otherwise, you can go to the library as a walk-in researcher. The document scanning service applies to books, print journals, and thesis and dissertation. The normal extract limit, meaning the maximum pages that we can scan and send to you pursuant to fair use, are 20 pages or 10% of the total number of pages, whichever is higher for books. For printed journals, up to 1 article from 1 printed journal issue, or 10% of the total number of pages of that journal, whichever is higher, while for thesis and dissertation, since they are unpublished materials, we can only scan the abstract page unless you have an authorization from the author. For purposes of library clearance, the only requirement is that you should not have an accountability with the library. To request for clearance on site, you won't need an appointment. You can also request for e-clearance by sending us a PDF copy of your clearance form through our email at bu-library@bicol-u.ph. If you need to go to the library of other schools, you can also request for a referral letter from the library. This is given to you free, but you must be enrolled for the current semester. Send us a message through email or Facebook if you need an e-referral letter. These are where you can primarily find us online. Please add us as a friend in our FB profile page. It's Aklatang Universidad ng Bicol. Like and follow our fan page, Bicol University Library, and you could also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Bicol University Library System. After this orientation, we hope you can find time to help us improve our services by answering our library orientation evaluation online form available at this link, tinyurl.com/library-orientation-evaluation-UL. Here is a summary of the important links to our online forms. We have our Ask Risa for book reservation and document scanning, the link to request for the database password, for seat reservation, and for patron record. Also, we have an online form for our client satisfaction survey, and when you want to recommend books or ebooks, you can use the book request form or the ebook request form. We also have our new website. The URL is sites.google.com/bicol-u.edu.ph/BULS. This is a one-stop source of all the information about the library system. Please do check this out. Well, this ends our virtual library orientation. Again, in behalf of the librarians and paraprofessional staff of the BU Library System, welcome to Bicol University and thank you for listening. Please keep safe, everyone. Thank you very much. Very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, graduate students and faculty, that concludes the Bicol University Graduate School Orientation Program. We hope you'll have a meaningful learning journey with us. Keep safe and God bless everyone.